Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, live from Long Island, New York, just before I am heading out to a wedding. I want to apologize for that last live stream last night when we were coming into New York City and we kept conking out. I saw the thumbs down. I was really trying to give you a news report onto the joke that was the Area 51 raid. At the time, 100 people had shown up, and I believe it was one person arrested. I checked this morning. So far, there have been 5 arrested, but lo and behold, as I said, no one is raiding Area 51. Kind of gorgeous out here. I'll tell you what, my buddy's parents' house is really nice. It's a nice section of Long Island. I'm looking forward to going to this wedding, but what I had to say about Candace Owens on Capitol Hill and some recent comments by Charles Barkley. Now, you watch this channel, you know that I am not about right or left partisan politics, being a conservative or a liberal. I think that issues are much too important to be playing team baseball on. However, I really did enjoy what Candace Owens had to say in front of Congress, because guess what isn't a problem in this country? White nationalism. It's not. It's imagination land if you think that's a big issue in this country. Think about this, guys. How many of you know not one, but 2 or a group of white nationalists personally? Bueller? Anybody? I mean, you would think if it was a huge problem in this country, you'd be seeing them everywhere. There would be organized marches. We don't have that. We would have events much like those in Portland, only they would truly be racist. It wouldn't be just a conservative group called the Patriot Prayer Group, who I do not believe are white nationalists, period. You would have more along the lines of the David Duke types. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have those types. That is just fictitious. Listen, bad people exist. White nationalists exist. However, the idea that they're taking over are a huge problem in this country is fantasy. And, that's one of the reasons I really like Barkley. Charles Barkley, far perfect human being. But growing up, I'm a basketball fan, Knicks fan. In the 80s, Barkley, other than Dennis Rodman, might have been the roughest player out there. Much more offensive minded than Rodman, not as offensive as Rodman was with his books and his antics. But Barkley was always, vocal, and he wouldn't be afraid to get in a fist fight, talk about it, talk about race, talk about politics in a real way. And one of the things he recently said is, the Democrats seem to care about black voters once every 4 years. And I kind of got to agree with that. That's the only time you really see it hitting. Don't get me wrong. We have the midterm elections. We have the pandering, et cetera, et cetera. And then he said another thing I can't help but agree with. Not all Trump supporters are racist. Really? No kidding, Charles. But he's one of the few people that will stand up and say that. And to me, he should be commended for it, because it's not like Charles Barkley is a right-wing guy. Okay. He's very liberal in many respects, but he's a no-nonsense, no bullshit artist, which I like, which I think is extremely important in a day and age where everybody is pandering to one side or the other. And that's something that Barkley hasn't done. I get it. Candace Owens is a huge conservative, but she's not wrong when she says it's a bigger problem that we have a war on masculinity in this country than white nationalists. That's 100% true also. I find that the idea that we can no longer separate male and female gender roles at all, very alarming. I mean, if you watch the show, that I'm still in the works with doing something with John Fitch, the MMA fighter, but he focuses on this stuff a lot in his shake breaks. You can check those out at 12:30 p.m. for 1 hour every weekday, Monday through Friday. And he does a great job of that and talking about the lack of the media promoting. Instead, you always hear about toxic masculinity. And that's just not the case. Listen, we're physically different. And we're more than just physically different. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but there's a series that I was starting to rewatch after after getting in the chat with John earlier this week called Human Animal. Let me repeat that. If you want something to watch that is extremely interesting and biology based, and a series I don't think that you could make today, I want to say this is 1994, and it's a BBC series. I think the Discovery Channel at the time, they were involved in it, but it's called The Human Animal. I want to say six parts. They're all about an hour long, and they are very gender specific. And I was watching The Biology of Love, right? And it's really interesting. I remember this as a kid because it showed you, for instance, let's say you're in a relationship with a woman, and for some reason you have to go away on business and you're leaving her for a few days, a week, more than the norm. Did you know that when they have a sexual encounter for the first time afterwards, biologically the male will produce more sperm just because of that distance, and for him to reassert that he's the dominant male in that relationship? There are biological differences, and just the cues and the different interesting things in The Human Animal, they're a must watch. And that doesn't mean, it's obviously very evolutionary based. Doesn't mean I believe everything in it. If you haven't heard my rants on micro and macro evolution, I think that, for instance, they're often conflated. A lot of people don't know there's a difference between micro and macro evolution. Just the cliff notes of that. Microevolution would be the idea that we have a horse and then we have a zebra, and obviously somewhere along the line, that zebra is in that family, and it got a different coat or color in order to survive, right, in a certain area, in order to blend in. And that would be a species evolving within itself, different breeds, et cetera, et cetera. Now, macroevolution is the idea that we have species to species evolution. And to me, that's something that would really need to be proven to me. That's the idea that we jumped from some kind of other hominid or an ape, or that other species have jumped, from sea to land. Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready to go? He's here. I just saw him out there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm talking because we're about to leave for this wedding in a few minutes. But I just want to say that the human animal is a very different animal. And I truly believe that we are spiritual beings, that we are special, that we are a lot different than what mainline science wants to pretend we are and promote that we are. Because we've achieved great things that no other species has ever achieved, and in my opinion, will ever achieve. What do I mean? Aside from consciousness, because we can argue, a dog has consciousness, a dolphin has consciousness, et cetera, et cetera. There are no other species that have created technology beyond survival other than human beings, right? Beavers build a dam, et cetera, et cetera. Animals will do things for survival, but we build technology that goes well beyond survival. We have intricate languages where we communicate with one another. We have art, we have music, we have emotion. We got pants, Dwaylight, that's right. There's so much more that human beings have done than any other species. And the idea that we're not special, or somehow human beings are no longer necessary and we can transcend our bodies by, hey, Erica, how you doing? Yeah, it's Li. We're about to go to Giorgio's. For the wedding. The idea that we're going to be able to upload our consciousness into AI, I don't buy into that either. I think that's the next big trick. I mean, we've literally begun to create technology that some argue will replace us. And I'm not looking to be replaced. Okay, that doesn't mean that we use technology as a tool to empower humanity. But as soon as we start selling that the human soul does not exist and that we're just zero and ones, I think that we're actually starting to enslave humanity. That being said, guys, we'll see if I'm checking in. I got a long day ahead of me here from the LI, and then I may be going home tonight. I may not. I'm hoping to get back on the computer because I miss and doing, the big stories. Obviously, there's things going on with this Ukraine story and Trump and so much more. So if I'm not back tomorrow with videos, we're definitely going to be hitting it hard on Monday, but expect some at least Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. Thumbs the video up. Again, I want to apologize for my drive into New York last night. That was a rough one. Subscribe, share. I got to GoFundMe. I appreciate you all, and I love you. See you soon.